The cell phone alarm went off at 6:30 in the morning, but Lauren was already awake. During the night she had lost count of how many times she had gotten up to check the temperature of Noah, her 8-month-old baby, who had a fever due to teething. Between doses of fever reducer, she also had to calm Chloe, who was 4 years old and woke up 3 times screaming because she was startled by her brothers crying. Lauren turned off the alarm and observed Kevin sleeping peacefully beside her. He hadn't even moved when she entered and exited the room numerous times. She sighed deeply. Her eyes burned with exhaustion, and a silent pain coursed through her tense shoulders after hours of cradling the baby in her arms. She got up carefully so as not to wake her husband and went to check on the children once more. Noah was sleeping with no signs of fever. Chloe was hugging her stuffed rabbit, her brown hair stuck to her damp forehead. Lauren adjusted the blanket over her daughter and smiled tenderly, despite the fatigue. In the kitchen, she made coffee and organized the lunchboxes. Despite the exhaustion, she felt a small spark of excitement in her chest. It was a special day, their 8th wedding anniversary. For weeks, she had kept a secret, something she believed could reignite the flame that seemed to have faded between them. Lauren and Kevin were no longer the same young lovers who met in college. The years had brought responsibilities, bills, sleepless nights, and arguments about who forgot to buy diapers or who should make meals. Conversations about dreams and future plans had been replaced by financial planning and pediatric appointments, but Lauren had never given up. She believed in the value of family and that it was all worth it. When Kevin entered the kitchen, Lauren smiled, feeling her heart race like in the early days of their relationship. "Good morning," she said, pouring coffee into his favorite mug. Kevin mumbled an unenthusiastic, "Good morning," looking at his phone while checking emails. His eyes didn't meet hers for even a second. "The coffee is hot, I just made it." She tried once again. Thanks," he replied, distracted, quickly gulping it down. Lauren waited. Maybe he was just sleepy. Maybe he would remember in a few minutes. She watched him finish the coffee, get up, give the children a quick kiss on the forehead, and head towards the door. "Kevin?" she called with a trembling voice. "Yes? I'm late for a meeting. Do you need something?" he replied, already with his hand on the doorknob. "Do you know what day it is today?" He furrowed his brow, thoughtful. "Wednesday? Oh, it's the day to take out the trash. Don't worry, I'll put it on the sidewalk when I get back." Lauren swallowed hard. Disappointment formed a knot in her throat. Kevin shrugged, muttered a, "See you later," and left, closing the door behind him. Lauren remained still, holding a cup of coffee that cooled between her fingers. The pain she felt wasn't new. It was just deeper this time. It was the sum of 1,000 little forgettings, unfulfilled promises. Nights she fell asleep alone waiting for him. A silent tear rolled down her face. It wasn't just about the forgotten birthday. It was about feeling small, invisible, as if her existence had been reduced to changing diapers, preparing meals and keeping the house in order. She went to the bedroom, opened the drawer of the dresser, and took out the gift bag she had hidden for days. Inside was an envelope containing a voucher for a stay at a seaside resort near their town, which she had won in a supermarket raffle weeks ago. She had imagined his reaction when he discovered they would have a weekend together, just the two of them. Her mother had already agreed to stay with the children, but nothing had gone as she had imagined. She looked at the voucher in her hands. The resort was a paradisiacal place, with palm trees swaying in the wind and crystal-clear waters. A place to rediscover love, to remember who they were before life swallowed them up in daily commitments. Inside, she screamed. On the outside, she just took a deep breath. She didn't want to seem immature by caring about that. She went to the children's room and watched them sleep. Noah, with his rosy little face now that the fever had subsided, and Chloe, who dreamed peacefully after a troubled night. She returned to her room and stared at the walls that had witnessed so many moments of love and, lately, so many silences. A decision was slowly forming within her. It wouldn't be an impulsive decision, nor would it be out of anger. It would be for survival, for the need to breathe, to find oneself again in that tangle of unmet obligations and expectations. With calm movements, Lauren took a suitcase and began to pack her clothes into it. Then she set aside changes of clothes for the children, diapers for Noah, and Chloe's favourite toys. She prepared bottles and snacks for the journey and packed the bag with documents and the resort voucher. She didn't leave a note. She didn't explain where she was going. Silence would be her answer for all the days she spoke and wasn't heard. She put the children, still sleepy, in the car. Chloe asked where they were going, and Lauren replied simply, "To a beautiful place, dear. You will love it. There is a huge pool." The girl jumped with joy upon hearing her mother, not really understanding what was happening. The road leading to the coast was bordered by green fields and mountains in the distance. Lauren drove with the windows open, feeling the wind messing up her hair. In the back seat, the children had fallen asleep, lulled by the movement of the car and the fatigue of a poorly slept night. It was only then that Lauren allowed herself to cry. They weren't tears of anger, but of sadness. She cried for the young girl she used to be, for the woman who believed that love was enough, for the wife who gave herself completely and received crumbs in return. After 3 hours of travel, she spotted the resort. It was exactly like the photos, an oasis of tranquility by the sea. Check-in was quick, and they were soon taken to their chalet, a cozy space with an ocean view. The children were amazed. Chloe ran to the window and pointed to the pool that stretched like a blue lake among the palm trees. Noah, in Lauren's arms, clapped at the sight of the birds flying between the trees. "Mommy, can we go to the beach now?" Chloe asked, jumping with excitement. "Of course, my love. Let's change and go downstairs." At the beach, Lauren sat on a lounge chair while watching Chloe build sandcastles, and Noah explore the shells scattered on the ground. The sea breeze gently caressed her face, bringing a relief she hadn't felt in a long time. From her bag, she pulled out an old notebook with a leather cover worn out by time. It was her dream journal, where she used to note down desires, plans, and thoughts. She hadn't opened it in years, perhaps since Chloe's birth. She flipped through the yellowed pages, recognizing the enthusiastic handwriting of a woman who still believed she could have it all. The career as an architect that she had paused to take care of the children, traveling the world with the man she loved, a house full of laughter and spontaneous hugs. Lauren smiled wistfully when she found a drawing she had made of a beach house where she imagined they would live one day. Next to it, a list of countries she wished to visit: Greece, Japan, Brazil, Portugal. It was then that she realized how much she had lost herself. It was not only the unrealized dreams that hurt, it was forgetting to dream. Having settled for a life where she was just a function, where was the woman who danced barefoot in the rain, who laughed loudly without caring about disapproving looks, who dared to paint walls in vibrant colours against all conventions? She closed the notebook and gazed at the horizon where the sky met the sea. She felt an unexpected peace. She was not running away. She was finding herself again. Kevin arrived home at 7 in the evening, exhausted after a day of endless meetings. He was surprised by the silence that greeted him. Usually at this hour, Chloe would be running through the living room, Noah would be crying for attention, and Lauren would be in the kitchen preparing dinner. "Lauren?" he called, leaving the folder on the couch. "Chloe." Only silence answered. He went through the rooms, increasingly anxious. The empty bedrooms, no sign of the children or his wife. On the fridge there was no note. On the table, no message. He took his cell phone and called Lauren. Voicemail. A chill ran down his spine. Never in 8 years of marriage had Lauren disappeared like this. 8 years. The thought hit him like a lightning bolt. He looked at the calendar hanging on the kitchen wall. The date was marked with a small red heart that he had never noticed before. The wedding anniversary. Kevin let himself fall into a chair, feeling the weight of understanding. The signs had been there for months, maybe years. The sparkle that gradually faded from her eyes, the smiles that became rarer, the conversations that turned into functional monologues about household chores and appointments. He was so immersed in his own world, work, ambitions, exhaustion, that he didn't notice she was slowly disappearing. That night, Kevin couldn't speak with his wife. Where could she be? Had she left? He questioned himself in shock. He tossed and turned on the sofa, tormented, trying to think about what could have happened. But memories started to come to his mind. Lauren trying to start conversations while he checked emails. Her suggesting a dinner for two while he said he was too tired. The invitations for walks on the beach that he declined, preferring to rest at home. For the first time in years, Kevin felt fear. Not a fleeting fear, but a deep terror of having lost something precious through sheer negligence. It was then that he tried to call Lauren's mother. After all, she always shared things with her mother. "Esther, it's Kevin. Is Lauren with you?" The silence on the other end of the line confirmed his suspicion. "Kevin, I promised I wouldn't tell, but—" Esther's voice faltered. "She's hurting. I know I messed up. I need to find her. She took the kids to a resort at the beach. She won the days in a raffle." "A raffle? She never mentioned—" "Maybe because she wanted to surprise you for your wedding anniversary." The words hit him like a ton of bricks. "Please, tell me where this resort is." Esther hesitated, but eventually relented. "She will kill me for telling, but—" "Maybe you two need to talk." Kevin thanked him and hung up. He sent a message to his colleague at work, informing them that he wouldn't be coming in the next day. He packed his suitcase, and the following morning he set off for the resort. He didn't sleep that night. The sun rose, he had a black coffee, and was already in the car driving towards the coast. During the journey he relived the beginning of their relationship, the first meeting in college, the impromptu marriage proposal during a picnic, her look when they held Chloe for the first time. When he finally won Lauren's love, he thought the hard part was over. He didn't realize that maintaining love required as much effort as winning it, and the fear of losing her made him wake up to what he was doing to his marriage. He arrived at the resort early in the morning. His heart was racing as he crossed the lobby towards the beach. He knew she liked to go to the beach early because the breeze was different, and that was exactly where he found her with the children. He saw her from a distance. She was sitting on a deck chair, her feet buried in the sand and her gaze lost on the horizon. Chloe was playing nearby, building what seemed to be a huge sandcastle, while Noah, sheltered by a beach umbrella, clapped joyfully as he played with a bucket of water. Lauren did not seem surprised to see him approaching. She didn't even look at him immediately. It was as if she had been expecting that moment, as if she knew he would come sooner or later. Kevin sat on the sand next to her in silence. For the first time in a long time, he didn't try to fill the space with empty words or justifications. He just waited, willing to listen to what she had to say. "Do you remember our honeymoon?" Lauren finally asked, still looking at the ocean. "We promised that no matter what happened, we would never lose each other." Kevin nodded, feeling his throat dry. "Now, it seems like I am invisible to you." It was as if a dam had broken. Lauren spoke about the loneliness she felt even while being beside him, about carrying the weight of the house and the children while feeling small amid everything, about waking up every day hoping for a gesture of affection that rarely came. Kevin listened to everything, letting the tears flow freely down his face. They weren't tears of self-pity, but of deep and sincere regret. "I don't know when I started to sideline you," he confessed finally. "Maybe it was gradual, maybe I got complacent, thinking you would always be there. I forgot that love needs to be renewed every day." Lauren looked at him for the first time since she arrived. "I don't want empty promises, Kevin. I don't want hastily bought flowers or romantic dinners that last just one night. I want to be seen. I want to be heard. I want to feel that I'm still important." Kevin extended his hand, hesitant. Lauren didn't take it immediately, but she didn't reject it either. "I can't promise that I'll never make mistakes again," he said. his voice choked with emotion. "But I can promise that I'll try every day to be better. To see you. To really see you." Chloe, upon seeing her father, ran towards him, throwing herself into his arms with a cry of joy. Noah, recognizing the paternal voice, began to babble enthusiastically. That night, after the children were asleep, Lauren and Kevin sat on the porch of the chalet watching the stars. They made no great promises or dramatic vows. They just talked, really talked, like they hadn't done in years. Lauren showed Kevin her old dream notebook, something she never had the courage to open to him, and he carefully went through the pages, discovering his wife's dreams he had never known. "There's still time," he said, looking at a drawing of Lauren surfing, "to fulfill these dreams, to build new ones." Lauren smiled faintly, a smile that didn't completely light up her eyes, but carried a spark of hope. "It will take time," she replied. "Rebuilding what we lost won't happen overnight." "I know, and I'm willing to fight for as long as it takes." They stood there, side by side, as the sea breeze brought the smell of salt and renewed promises. It wasn't a guaranteed happy ending, but a cautious new beginning. A chance to rediscover the love that had fallen dormant, but might perhaps awaken again. Because sometimes love doesn't die, it just gets lost in the whirlwind of everyday life. And finding it again requires courage, the courage to leave and the courage to return. If you enjoyed the story, please leave a comment with a rating from 1 to 5 to show how much you liked it. Also, watch the video that is now appearing on your screen. See you soon.